Okay, we're going to start talking about arrays, and I have built a little form here using an input field and an output field, and I'm going to display array elements below this. This is the HTML file, and I'll include this in your notes. This is the style that I have set up. You can set up anything that you want differently. And then JavaScript, I have a lot of things commented out. In fact, I'm going to do this right here. And we want to talk about arrays. An array is a series of elements that can be referenced by a single name with the element number. For example, below you see animal array element 3. Now remember, this has 5 elements. That's the length of the array, but this is element 0, element 1, element 2, element 3, element 4. So if you start using third and fourth, it gets confusing because the third element is element 2. The fourth element is element 3. The first element is element 0. So probably better to refer to it as element 0 rather than first element. But the length will always be given as the number of elements in that array. An array can be strings, as it is here. It can be numbers, and it can also be objects. Don't worry about objects right now. We'll get to that later in the course. So we're calling this animal array, and there we have the 5 elements. So I can set up to have placed in this output field the right here the element that is element 3. And so if I press go, and there is snake, which is element 3, 0, 1, 2, 3. Now, I can also, let me comment that out, is set up a loop that says, let me tab this up nice, that says for 0 to the animal array length, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. As long as x is less than the animal array length, increasing by 1, so you're familiar with loops, I want to put out an alert that is the animal array x. And then when I'm finished, to write finished. And so if I press go, there is a dog, cat, giraffe, snake, horse, finished. Okay, so let's comment this back out and move on to the next lesson. All of these things are found in W3 Schools, the JavaScript array reference. And I'm telling you, just get used to looking it up because I program in different languages. And if I'm programming in Swift, things are different than when I come to JavaScript or Objective-C. And so it's just good to get used to looking up in the internet how to do it, remind yourself, and then you don't spend a lot of time doing it wrong and redoing it. So you can look these up yourself and see them. We're just going to look at a few of the important ones. The next thing we want to look at is how to modify an element, and what I'm saying is modify the number 2 element to whatever I put in the input string. So I'm going to put a bat, and press go, and there is dog, cat, bat, snake, and horse. The length of the array we've already talked about is where the output will give us the length. The length of the array is 5. Now remember, each time I run this, it gets refreshed to dog, cat, giraffe, snake, and horse. If I want to sort the array, I can press go, and it says animal array.sort with the parentheses afterwards. And now it is cat, dog, giraffe, horse, and snake. So let's comment these out. And now I want to add to the end of the array tiger. Now what you'll do is you'll use this a lot because you might be picking up fields from the user or from some other source, and you're just pushing them into the array. It just means you're just adding to the very end. And so I'm going to push tiger. If I press go, you can see now it's dog, cat, giraffe, snake, horse, and tiger. Okay, splicing is the way that we can remove an element or add an element, and I'm going to show you. When we splice, we say go to the number 2 element, and the first number gives the index number. The second number is whether to delete a certain number, and then we list the elements we want to be spliced in there. So what this will do is it goes dog, cat to the second element. It doesn't delete anything, and it splices in pig and shark. Now, if I comment that out, and now I delete an element and add to, save that, and press go, you can see it came to the giraffe element, because then I delete one, it deleted snake, and it added bat and lion. My thoughts are that you typically will use it to delete, and that will be something like this. You'll go to the second element or number 2 element to delete the third element, and if you look there, you can see that giraffe. Go to the second element and then delete the next element. And so that's how that is done. I'll show you this. This is just to take everything that's in an array and put it into a string. When we get to string manipulations, there are things that you can do with this, but really what it has done is taken and placed a comma between each field, and this is actually now one string that has been placed into that output field. And so there you go. That's the lesson on arrays. The next lesson we're going to get into string manipulation, but it's important to understand arrays to understand how to manipulate a string.